Guys, whether you discovered him as a reality TV host, MMA commentator,
Or black guy Jones, white guy Goosemouth.
That was said by Joe Rogan.
or a comedian,
And I'm like, male assist? Did you just assume my gender?
you probably know Joe Rogan as the biggest podcaster in the world. But is that the most accurate title? When you take a step back and look at Rogan's come up over the past 15 years, it makes you wonder, is Joe Rogan the biggest YouTuber in the world? Real quick, be sure to like and subscribe, and let's get into it. Since you've probably never seen Rogan film a prank video or try to groom a minor, YouTuber isn't the first thing you think of when this TRT chimpanzee crosses your mind. Even though JRE didn't start on YouTube, that's where it gained prominence. But when the general population thinks of YouTubers, guys like MrBeast or even PewDiePie come to mind. I think a lot of that has to do with how YouTube has been marketing itself over the past decade. Since YouTube is competing with other platforms like Instagram and TikTok for the screen time of young people, obviously YouTube would push channels that appeal to this demographic, which are usually run by younger creators themselves. But this is a very surface level assessment, because the platform is filled with older creators having success with their content. Of course there's Papa Rogan, but Rhett and Link were like 30 when they started back in the day, and they're still going strong. You also have more recent success stories like the Outdoor Boys channel. So if you're not regularly watching YouTube, your perception of the people who upload content probably ranges from plastic motherfuckers putting on fake smiles in vlogs to sweaty losers ranting behind their PNG avatars. The point I'm getting at here is it feels almost arbitrary who gets assigned the title YouTuber. Someone like Justin Bieber, despite starting his musical journey on YouTube, is known as a pop star. Why? Because he was a nobody until a talent agent scoped him out from his videos and launched his career. Logan Paul, on the other hand, started out as a Vine star, then jumped ship to YouTube, and is now a podcaster, /wrestler, /business tycoon, /scammer. But whenever a story about the dude comes up, it's always prefaced with YouTuber. This is because despite the success and controversy Logan's had over the past few years, his first big mainstream moment was the Suicide Force video he uploaded to YouTube. So when it comes to your title on the internet, it's not how you make your mark, but where.
Now, I'm obviously not a fucking bomb expert, but I talked to one.
You should see erect.
He can't stop himself.
Considering that these job titles didn't exist 15 years ago, are we sure there's even a difference between YouTuber and podcaster? To circle back to Logan Paul, when he's not liking his cheese drippy or doing crypto rug pulls,
Crypto Zoo, we're going to launch our eggs.
you'll probably find him co-hosting the Impulsive podcast. Despite this being Logan's primary content vehicle for the past few years, he's yet to transition from YouTuber to podcaster in the cultural zeitgeist. But why? Well, it's partially due to that it's not where you make your mark thing from the last section, but also most people treat these terms like hot tub and jacuzzi, or sea-doo and jet ski. When it comes down to it, these are pretty interchangeable titles. The last factor, and probably the most influential thing in this discussion, is the idea of endonyms versus exonyms, or the names we give ourselves and the names others give us. Joe considers himself a podcaster. There's probably 1,000 hours of him saying, "I'm a podcaster." Because podcaster is the title Rogan prefers, that's what everyone calls him. Don't get me wrong here, this isn't like when Brendan Schaub says he's a comedian.
Dicey.
But if Joe woke up tomorrow and said, "I'm a YouTuber," people would follow suit.
And I was like, whatever, I'll do. If I get fired here, whatever, I'll just go do Joe Rogan next week and I'll be fine. Anyway, I thought that was funny. No?
What?
I was like, I
Is that what
literally
you thought?
I literally thought that.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I thought it would be funny.
Well, it could have been funny.
Yeah.
At this point, I think we can all agree it's not out of pocket to say Joe Rogan is a YouTuber.
Oh, that's hot. That's hot.
Now we've got to figure out if he's the biggest. So we're going to be comparing the most popular YouTuber of today versus the biggest podcaster in history to try to figure out who's bigger. So let's get into it. It's MrBeast. MrBeast is bigger than Rogan in every metric, including height. At the time of writing this, MrBeast has over 354 million subs compared to Rogan's 19.2. MrBeast has amassed over 71.1 billion views across all channels versus Joe's 6.2 billion views across YouTube and Spotify. Hell, even his net worth dwarfs Rogan at $1 billion. So how could Joe possibly be considered bigger than MrBeast? Well, despite doing massive numbers on social media, the real-life byproduct of MrBeast's success is that Feastables and Lunchly are sold in grocery stores. Rogan, on the other hand, was moving the needle on the US presidential election.
I want to thank some people real quick. I want to thank the Nelk Boys, Aiden Ross, Theo Vaughn, Bustin' with the Boys, and last but not least, the mighty and powerful Joe Rogan.
See, despite always putting on a bigger and better show, because MrBeast videos are designed to have mass market appeal, i.e. this video needs to be as entertaining as possible while also being as generic as possible, they do crazy numbers, but are more about the spectacle than the substance. Not to say Joe is always having the most substantive conversation, but he's been running the same format for the better part of 15 years, and this has allowed him to host a variety of guests, from Bernie Sanders to Donald Trump, because Joe's conversations range from locker room talk to dialogue on ideas and theories. His content has resonated more with his audience and resulted in more real-world impact despite his smaller online presence. Need more proof? MrBeast's $100 million Amazon show, Beast Games, was a flop. I haven't heard anyone in real life talk about it, and the only people talking about it on the internet are former contestants. Compare that to Joe Rogan, who just re-signed a multi-million-dollar contract with Spotify and got better seats than guys like Ron DeSantis at the inauguration. So to wrap it up, is Joe Rogan a YouTuber? Yes. Is he the biggest YouTuber? However, he is the most influential guy who also does massive numbers on the platform. So at the end of the day, nothing says bigger than being buddies with the president and the richest man alive. See you on the next Randograph.